Power of the Elements is going to change Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever, but not how you may think it will. The main thing this core set will do is introduce two meta-defining archetypes, Splight and Tearlaments. Both are very easily customizable. If you can count to 2, you can probably combine it with Splight, whereas Lightsworn has truly returned to the meta by not having a single Lightsworn card in a top tier mill archetype. I don't think I need to validate that these archetypes are expected to be the top 2 by far, but just to prove my point, look at the insane card quality here. Tearlaments is everything a modern Lightsworn deck could wish it was, and then some with the cherry on top. Minerva can mill 3 cards. Chaos Ruler can mill 5 cards and then add 1. The level 5 Tearlaments fusion can mill 5, Searcher Foolish a card in the archetype, and also reborn any of them. I mean, not to be that guy, but if we're talking power creep, Tearlaments is a great example of it. But considering all of this, Houston may have a problem. The Adventure and Punk cards are clearly powerhouses, but you may forget that they also have insane synergy with both archetypes. Splight can easily play under a lack of a normal summon effect as long as you use cards that don't conflict, and Tearlaments can activate Emergency Teleport to mill 9 cards, which doesn't even mention the obscene extra value you can gain outside of just milling 9 in Tearlaments. Look, the point I'm making is that if we just want these two archetypes to be the only 2 decks you're allowed to play, there is an argument that a ban list for Adventure and Punk won't change the expected outcome. The point I'm getting at, however, is long term this may be an issue. Think about it like this. We can either let the ban list not do much and see how the meta develops with Power of the Elements with Splight and Tearlaments being the best decks, or we can hit these engines and Splight and Tearlaments will still be the best decks. It's reasonable to go either way, but personally, I think that it makes more sense long term to reduce the power level of these archetypes and ensure players are still able to go second without relying sheerly on drawing hand traps. If we were, in fact, to hit these 2 engines, what should we even hit? Personally, this can go a few ways. I like the idea of banning Griffin Rider from the Adventure engine because it keeps the engine as a playable package, but it removes the card that makes it too resilient. It's still clearly a powerful engine, and it will most likely see play at different points, but it's arguably a lot more fair than what it was, especially when we consider the card quality is going to be even higher after Power of the Elements. The Adventure engine seems totally reasonable at that point. Secondly, how do we deal with the Punk engine? Do we limit Emergency Teleport as many times as Konami has printed waifu decks? Or this time, is the problematic card what Emergency Teleport gets you access to, being Chaos Ruler? Now don't get me wrong, if my earlier sentiment didn't make it obvious, I freaking love milling cards and chaos monsters almost as much as I love Plunder Patrol. Like, if we're talking my wet dreams right now, it's gotta be Touching Grass at 3rd place, Chaos Ruler at 2nd place, and One Piece the Archetype as number 1. But at the end of the day, Konami is too afraid of banning the Plunder Gods deck, and Touching Grass is already forbidden on the ban list. I think it's about time we say goodbye to our leader, Papega Ruler. This also coincides with the general ban list philosophy of hitting either consistency cards or the problem cards you're consistently accessing. There are definitely some cases where the consistency hits are the better path, as we can just consistently access another problem card instead. In this case, even though the Punk engine makes drawing Emergency Teleport feel even better than Segs, without Chaos Ruler, it definitely doesn't have the same weight to it. This argument isn't quite as straightforward, especially because Punk is getting a new level 8 synchro in Power of the Elements, which may low-key be a good enough substitute, and this isn't even considering that you don't have to make a level 8 synchro in order to still get insane value off of the Punk engine. So yeah, maybe we should put Emergency Teleport in the waifu pile. If I were Konami, which I mean, I'm not, but I'll still roll with it. This would be my approach to the next ban list. Let's ban Griffin Rider, limit Emergency Teleport because I changed my mind while writing the script, and also ban Hulk and Sight. I mean, come on now. Hulk is still the most silly Link 2 ever printed that even got banned in the OCG due partially because of Splight. I also think it's, pretty obvious Scythe needs to get banned regardless of Power of the Elements or not, but that may not happen if you don't subscribe to my channel, like this video, and check out the video on screen now.